Here on the Raw Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. What a Raw Ring Report we have for you as these matches and segments are coming your way here tonight on Raw. And we talk about the recaps and reviews of what had happened on Raw from yesterday and what a Raw it was. As you see, Rey Mysterio was scheduled to meet Veer Mahan. We don't know why, but Rey's son Dominik took his place, and Rey's son Dominik experienced what he had saw coming to him in the hands of Veer Mahan. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, too, AJ Styles goes one-on-one against the new disciple, Damien Priest. Damien Priest and AJ Styles, with Damien cost AJ his match at WrestleMania against Edge. Can AJ get a little bit of retribution coming up? As well as last week on Raw saw the ending of Bobby Lashley and MVP from the Hurt Business. I would never have imagined that Bobby Lashley and MVP would have been breaking up. But a mighty name, giant name almost got in the way, and caused that friction to come around. We'll talk about that. Also, too, Miz hosts Miz TV, and his special guest is Cody Rhodes. The man he takes on Raw tonight. And Miz and Cody Rhodes got some unfinished business to take care of. We'll talk about that and a lot more as the Raw Ring Report starts right now. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Raw Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show on this Tuesday morning. We're glad you can join us here on your Tuesday morning. Thank you all for watching. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We got a lot to get to, and that's where you see right there the red brand, the Monday Night Raw red brand. As you see this right here, Cody Rhodes takes on The Miz. Cody returns to action on Raw within a 6-year absence. You know, Cody, ever since leaving Raw, has been being a journeyman wrestler, going to AEW, going to Ring of Honor, going to all the independent promotions, and finally coming back to WWE. That's eluded him that he wants. He wants the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Cody's road to the championship will be tough and hard as Cody kicked off Raw, and Cody kicked off Raw with The Miz. We saw Miz right here. Miz welcoming folks to Raw as he brought along Cody Rhodes. Cody was a special guest. And Miz didn't hold back one bit. And Miz told Cody what he thought of him. And Miz saying that Cody ain't nothing but a narcissist. And Cody tried to doubt him and tried to say, no, I'm not a narcissist. I just want to come back and make things right again. And Cody and Miz arguing. And we see the confrontation. The confrontation is they're going to have a match. And they did indeed have a match later on in the show. An hour later, Cody Rhodes coming off the heels of WrestleMania. And after leaving AEW, Cody getting his opportunity of a lifetime, becoming himself, being himself. And that's what Cody Rhodes is, being himself. And you have to respect that from the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody went against The Miz. And the match was that. The match was catch as catch can. But at the end, Cody won her match over The Miz. The Fiend The Miz, one-on-one. Seth Rollins came out there and issued a challenge to Cody. That told Cody that he wants a rematch. That at WrestleMania, he was surprised. He didn't see it coming. Well, Cody accepted the offer, and Cody will give Seth Rollins his match, his rematch. And we just found out men's couple of hours ago that it will happen. The rematch will happen at WrestleMania Backlash. Cody Rhodes takes on Seth Rollins. one-on-one. This time, no surprises for Cody. He do what he did at WrestleMania, winning in the match against Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes coming back strong, and can Cody Rhodes continue that momentum? And can Cody Rhodes continue his quest on becoming undisputed world champion somewhere down the road? But Cody Rhodes winning the match. Speaking of that, Vera Mohan was in action. He took on Dominik Mysterio, and we knew then Dominik Mysterio did not have a chance. Dominik Mysterio trying to defend his father. His father, Ray, was supposed to be in the match, but Ray wasn't in the match for what uncircumstances reasons. But Veer applying that maneuver what he did, and Veer Mahan has finally come using maneuver and got the one and won by submission over Dominik. Dominik Mysterio had to be carried out on a stretcher. We don't know how's Dominik Mysterio's conditioning at this time. We hope Dominik Mysterio is doing well because Dominik Mysterio took a heck of a beat on the hands of Veer Mahan. Well, we know continue on with mind games. Kevin Owens trying to tell anybody that listen that Elias is brother Ezekiel is Elias, but people don't want to believe Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens still trying to get the campaign, trying to get folks to believe that Ezekiel is indeed Elias, but people don't believe it. But even Tommaso Ciampa's Raw's newest superstar even appeared. We know Ciampa coming off the heels after his takeover fight. He left NXT losing to forgot his name, Tony D'Angelo. And he lost, and now Ciampa on Raw. Let's hope Ciampa gets the same grace that he is what he did on NXT than he did on Raw. And so we'll see on that. Plus too, backstage, Sonya Deville and Amanda Pierce was backstage with Austin Theory. And Austin Theory was lobbying since he doesn't like that name Austin, that he's gonna scratch. He's gonna erase his name from Austin and be just simply called Theory. Okay, the new United States champion, Theory. We don't have a ring to it. I hate when WWE does that. Short, they got like a short name syndrome. Look what they did with Buddy Murphy. They just called Buddy Murphy, Mustafa Ali. You know, stuff like that. Like short name changes, last name changes. It's like they just go by that. And Cesaro, all of that stuff, Rusev. They go by your last name. And be like, just go by their long name. Yeah, just stands out. But they don't want to do that. So to each his own. But we know that Theory will be in a big championship match next week. Theory gets a chance of a lifetime to go against Finn Balor for the United States Championship. I pray to God Finn Balor wins his match over Theory. And I guess Theory just getting the rub from Mr. McMahon, but I pray Finn Balor wins. Theory's not ready yet. Mr. McMahon, I say he might be ready. But we'll see next Monday on Raw as the U.S. Championship is on the line. And the up-and-coming young challenger Theory takes on champion Finn Balor, who won it a couple of weeks ago. Don't think anything Finn Balor can be a transitional champion. Please not. Oh, God, please. All right, speaking of that, we know that Edge has formed an alliance with Damien Priest. But this alliance continue on to get sicker and darker. And Damien Priest, who used to be a good guy, and somebody may miss it, right? That Priest should be jealous of Bad Bunny for getting the attention that he had at WrestleMania. Not the other way around, but they want to go with that. And AJ Styles is caught in the middle of it. AJ Styles was set to go against Theory. He went against Theory. AJ Styles kind of lost due to distraction. But AJ Styles made a pivot point that he's coming for Edge. If he has to go through Theory, go through Damien Priest to do so. Raw had Damien Priest as a good guy, and they just messed it up. You know how that go. All right. Speaking of that, the new Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, coming off the hill. Happy belated birthday to Bianca. She just got herself a boat due to her husband, Montez Ford, buying her a boat. So congratulations and enjoy your boats. Enjoy your boat with your husband. Bianca Belair, coming off strong. We haven't seen Becky Lynch. We don't even know where Becky Lynch went. But Becky Lynch probably just left off and probably want to, time off or something. You know how that goes. She's a mother now, so yeah, well, we know this that Sonya Deville attacked the champion Bianca Belair and told her that she's her next challenger. And why would you attack her if you knew you? Okay, Sonya, you better be watching what you need to do. I'm telling you right now, Sonya, you better think twice of what you're doing because Bianca Belair is gonna come, and Bianca Belair had an open contract, and Sonya Deville signed on that line. That just don't make no sense. A GM or whatever you want to call it, a commissioner challenging the champion, but it's gonna happen. We just don't know when. Probably at WrestleMania Backlash. I knew Sonya Deville was back to her old dirty tricks again. She's doing it, so she floats over to the end of the show, like Raw, SmackDown. She was messing with Naomi. Now she's want to take Bianca Belair's title. But speaking of that, Jared the King Lawler was there too, returning the commentary since Corey Graves got married this past week, and he'll be filling in for Corey Graves when Corey Graves come back. We just don't know when a timetable for Corey Graves to come back, whenever that might be. But it was good hearing the King again. Wish Jim Ross was there, but we'll talk about good old JR and what activities good old JR and Tony Khan was doing recently. We'll talk about that on Hot Topics. All right. And we get to the main event as the Usos arrive. Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, were given an order to go after Red RK Bros Tag Team titles. Yeah, they was given the order. Hey, go by the Universal Undisputed WWE Champion, Roman Reigns, to, hey, I got both gold on both shows. You need to get both gold on both shows and make it the Undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. Well, we all know the Usos, that were their marching orders, and they had to stick to it. As Red RK Bro took on American Alpha, and they won the match. But at the end, the Red RK Bro said, "Well, we knew what you wanted. Come on, if y'all want to come get some, come get some." And we just know now that it's gonna be that way sooner rather than later. That Red RK Bro defeat American Alpha and then laid out the Street Profit. So we can see this. The Usos standing tall over Red RK Bro, sending a message that they're coming for the tag team titles, and they want to unify the tag team titles with the SmackDown tag team titles coming forward. Could we be seeing a possibility? This has to happen at WrestleMania Backlash, and could we see it? Only time will tell. If Rated RK on the Usos get their hands on tag team gold sometime in the near future. All right, that ends the Raw Ring Report. Coming up next week on Raw, like we said that Theory will get a challenge Finn Balor for the United States Championship. Theory coming off the heels of WrestleMania, losing to Pat McAfee. going against Finn Balor. Can Theory become U.S. champion? Only time will tell. I hope not. But hey, you never know. Anything can happen in WWE. I just don't. I hate when they doing it to Finn Balor. Finn Balor should deserve more, but if he does lose it, they can put him in program at Roman. But you never know. Also, to the women's tag team titles on the line as champions Sasha Banks and Naomi come defend their title against the team of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They're having problems. We hope Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan get those problems settled and try to focus on trying to become women's tag team champions. But if it don't happen, look for Rhea Ripley to probably join Edge's faction somewhere down the road. All right. That ends the Raw Ring report. Let's move over. Let's move over to hot topics. All right, hot topics. You see right here, Tony Khan talking about bots. He said that he done a study, a research study, and he's saying that AEW are having people that's anti AEW saying that people are bots. Okay. Like I said, people can have their opinion, but there is some little form of bots, but ain't that many. But Tony Khan made himself look a little bit stupid in a way, like about bots. But you can see right here, he was with Jim Ross during the UFC fight. So Jim Ross and Tony Khan watching the game. Speaks watching the fight. I'm just saying it. Also, one of Tony Khan's students, stars, Dax, talked about what had happened with him 2 years ago when they wanted to get that release from WWE and WWE granted their release, and all of a sudden they've been winning gold, and FTR is proven for that. FTR, former NXT Tag Team Champions, WWE Raw, SmackDown Tag Champs, Ring of Honor, and AEW Tag Team Champions. I think that's unprecedented. I think they'll never ever have it again unless a team comes along. Look at all those belts right there. Current promotions, the AAA champion, tag team champions. So FTR is doing a good job. But speaking of that, WWE touted that WrestleMania outperformed the Super Bowl in key social media metrics. This got to be a Stephanie McMahon campaign to put WWE over the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, some people may know WrestleMania, some people may not know WrestleMania. And then some people are saying with Super Bowl, but everyone knows that the Super Bowl is a little bit more bigger and you get more mass. WWE didn't have that. They didn't mention about the commercials. They didn't mention about Super Bowl commercials and stuff like that. So with WWE, sometimes I think like you trying to build yourself up, but you know we give you good A for effort, but it's just that. But WWE with trying to say they broke the Super Bowl metrics and saying with the key records demos. Let's break it down point by point, and we can show you right here. Saying we get it with impressions. Impressions sometimes means like who viewed it, who saw it, stuff like that. Video views. WWE claims 1.1 billion. Um, they claim the Super Bowl had 68 point stuff like that. So good for WWE, but you don't want to like brag too much too. And it's like wrestling still it's getting there, but it's still not there. But to each his own. Well, also too, NWA champion Matt Cardona talked about with Bully Ray, talked about the internet championship. And he said something about Bully Ray, and Bully Ray wasn't having it. So I guess you know how that be. You know, I don't know, there's a few going on or just playful. You never know. Um, we'll see on that one. Speaking of that, um, Cesaro could be appearing in AEW sooner rather than you think. There's been rumors and reports that Mark Henry kind of gave saying that they're putting fillers out there. Cesaro could be talking to AEW about heading to the promotion and leaving WWE. If Cesaro goes to AEW, more power to Cesaro and stuff. I can't blame him on that. Also, too, we found out that Total Blanchard Promotions Enterprises, whatever you want to call it, the Big Man Khan and Big Man Tony Logo has been signed by AEW. Long made official. I think they're gonna do. Khan's gonna be something if they put their money into it. Khan has the size, the look, the ability. He's been in the independent scene. I think he stood out more out of all of Shane Taylor promotion. No offense to Shane Taylor and nothing like that. Khan just stood out more because Khan has potential. But we'll see if they do right with Khan, make Khan a star. If I was a promoter, if I got Khan, he'll be like the next Black Goldberg or something. Or next, to me, kind of like he goes undefeated and stuff until he gets wins and stuff. You build him and stuff. Then he can go on the cover of like a magazine or something like that, like a black chick's magazine or something. As a black chick go nuts for Khan. Speaking of that, we heard that Maria Kanellis her deal with Impact coming. She had a short term deal. It's coming to an end. I mean, they couldn't sign Maria or Mike Bennett to a long term deal. Ring of Honor didn't want them. AEW. I don't know. They might be for Tony Khan's sake. They might be too difficult, but Maria gonna be doing the indies again. Speaking of that, Sarah Logan. She might be joining the Control Your Narrative promotion, and she wants to control her narrative one way or another. So look for Sarah Logan being the EC3 and Braun Strowman's promotion. Control Your Narrative. Now we know the legendary Undertaker, who just recently entered the Hall of Halls of the WWE Hall of Fame. The Undertaker could be holding his own podcast, and they saying that WWE and Peacock want to do a podcast style um, interview with Undertaker. Undertaker should have a lot of stories with historic feuds, his historic rivals, his road stories, his character, and how the character got involved. But I could see the Undertaker doing a podcast because Undertaker can talk all day, and how he was doing with the motivational speaking. He did his own podcast, he did his own little stories and stuff that he can tell out because he has a 15-year deal. So it's hard to keep that magic alive and Undertaker. You can imagine the stories. What if, imagine this, if Conrad Thompson or somebody who does podcast, wrestling podcasts, had got the Undertaker, Paul Heyman, um, I'm Stone Cold like doing his podcast no more, Stone Cold, um, stuff like that, telling stories way back when, telling the years of the stories of the feuds that Undertaker had, stuff like that, behind the scenes, the backstory, I could see that on Undertaker. So look for that on Peacock sooner rather than later. You see this Break the Hitman Hearts. With taking a picture with Psycho Clown for some apparent reason. I don't know why Bret the Hitman Hart decided to stick his tongue out, but that's his business. That's his business. Trying to see if anything else popped up. We have the champions of SmackDown and the champions of Raw. As you see, the champions for Monday Night Raw is Bianca Belair, Universal WWE Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Finn Balor U.S. Champion, Dana Brooke the 24/7 Champion, Ray Arcade Bro, the Raw Tag Champs, and Sasha Banks and Naomi, the Women's Tag Team Champions. And two, we heard reports too that Brandi Rhodes, who used to be East Style in WWE, could be making her way back into the company along with her husband Cody. And Brandi could play a pivotal role in some of Cody's matches. You never know. Some they might have her in a feud with someone being stopped or something. You never know. But could you see Brandi Rhodes in WWE? And they said that she had talked with the WWE brass about potentially returning. They could be coming sooner rather than you think. So we could see Brandi coming back in a bigger role. So look for that in the near future. Also, too, congratulations in order to Alexa Bliss and her husband Brian Cabero, who's a musician. They have officially tied the knot. Alexa Bliss tying the knot, and we here at the Pro Wrestling Show want to congratulate Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was it her last WWE appearance was at Elimination Chamber after losing to Bianca Belair, and Alexa has not been on TV ever since. Maybe she was planning her wedding just to get that signing money, and that she made that signing money work for her. She put it to work by getting married. And congratulations to Alexa Bliss on her special day. All right, too, and finally, we know tonight, the NXT Tag Team Titles are on the line in a 5-team gauntlet match to determine the new tag team champions. We'll see tonight after controversy surrounding Wesley losing the tag team champ for MSK. MSK no more due to the fact that Wesley's wife Kimberly caused a lot of Twitter drama. We'll leave it like that, and got him fired over Hitler mess joke. So you know how that go. Just John Silver. Yeah, it's a lot. And want to say happy birthday to the natural Dustin Rhodes, who used to portray Gold Dust, natural Dustin Rhodes, and a coach and trainer for AEW. So, like I said, that's gonna end the pro wrestling show for the Raw Ring Report. We're gonna leave you with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, trying to make a statement that they want tag team gold and they want to be undisputed tag champs. So for me being Kendrick Dick saying so long, thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, Raw Ring Report. We'll see you tonight for the NXT Ring Report. See you later.